And now,
it's 10 a.m.
Let's just get down to it.
And it's time for your sports fix.
Strap yourselves in, folks.
From two guys who have covered the teams you're passionate about for years.
We are professionals.
This is Jake Scott and Ben Anderson on 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone. Jake Scott, Ben Anderson, thank you for making us a part of your Thursday?
Yeah. Yes.
Last night, sans Jazz basketball.
Yeah. And tonight?
Trying to claw through Hamilton with an 8-year-old.
Okay.
So I've got to pause a lot. And I'm hoping I can fit it in.
Because you're explaining a lot, or
Yeah.
because she gets bored, or what?
No, not bored, but explaining.
Yeah.
Like who this is and why this is important.
Yeah.
Because I do think it's a compelling way to learn a pretty important story in our country's history.
Absolutely. Yeah, I love Hamilton. Yeah,
So,
that was very good. That's
we-
a fun way to teach.
We pause it every 30 seconds. But anyway, the music is good.
Yeah, really good.
So I'm hoping we've got like 45 minutes left.
Okay, you'll get there.
So I wanted to get that in before the end of the All-Star break.
Yeah, you'll get there.
This all was generated because she came home and said, "We're learning about the Constitution." Hamilton.
Sit down. Sit on down.
Oh, man. But it'll be good to have Jazz basketball back. That is for sure. Now, what version of Jazz basketball we're going to see remains to be seen. But I think most people are, the one thing Mark Cuban said the other day is that hope sells. That's what fans want.
Yeah.
And that is true. I did not agree with the point Mark was making, but that is definitely a thing. And I think hope in Jazzland is higher now, and this is, the scorching hot take, than it's been in a long time. Like even going back pre-Donovan and Rudy trade.
You think this is higher now?
Than that last year, certainly.
I
mean-
think, oh yeah, but you said Donovan Rudy trade, not pre-Donovan and Rudy altogether.
No, pre-Donovan
Okay.
and Rudy
Yes.
trade, as far as hope goes. Because I think the hope was pretty high in 2021.
Oh yeah,
That-
you have the best record in the NBA.
That was a team that could get over the hump.
And that January, they were steamrolling teams. Like,
Yeah.
to the point where kind of the national narrative was like, the Jazz were going to the finals. Who are they going to play in the East?
They won 21 and 23 or
Yeah.
something, and they were just raking teams.
Obliterating teams. That month or two was certainly huge. Dwayne Wade, I think, had just kind of gotten on board, so there was like some weird national relevance
Right.
to the team. And then Donovan's first year, certainly, like, how good is this guy going to get was maybe the peak of the last decade.
Well, that was funny because that was a turnaround from no hope to hope. Because Jazz fans were pretty crushed by losing Gordon Hayward.
It was a rebound.
Yeah, and all of a sudden it was like, are they in the middle of the league
Yeah.
going nowhere
Yeah.
again? They don't
Falling
have
in love with the first girl after a divorce.
Yeah,
is
they
what
don't
happened.
have a guy anymore. He just left
Yeah.
for Boston.
Yep.
So that was kind of a funny one because all of a sudden Donovan Mitchell really filled that void, and hope was high. But and don't get me wrong, I'm using the word hope on purpose because I'm not talking about even potential or anything like that. Like nobody's jumping on the old Jake and Ben show and saying, next year, Ben, look out, Thunder.
No.
Because here come the Jet. But hope is a thing. I mean, Keontae George is turning out to be a guy. Jaren Jackson Jr. trade aside.
Yeah.
That was something that was not there before the season started.
There was already some optimism about next year as of a month ago because of what Keontae George and Lowry were doing. As soon as you took the reins off, let them go. Let's see what they can do.
And again, we're not talking about potential. We're talking about the hope, which it does make things more fun. It will be – the hope is what we will ride the rest of the season on Jazz pre-half and post, I tell you. The potential and how does this fit next to this potential lineup next year? I mean, those are now the storylines because I think it's true. I think hope is high. Hope was low in the last year of Rudy and Donovan. We had you and I always remember David James's analogy with the cul-de-sac, right? I mean, there was that feeling of this team cannot get any better.
Yep.
For, I mean, at least that year, right? What year would that
2022. 2021-22.
So I think people the hope trajectory.
Yep.
All right, math, geometry.
Probably geometry.
Yeah.
Maybe a little physics.
Yeah, that's more it. It's more physics. But anyway, that was certainly on the downslide. And then the rebuilds are funny because hope is weird because it's misplaced a lot.
Yes.
You put that hope in players that are, in your case, the Jared Butlers of the world who have never done a dang thing.
Right.
And everybody's like, this is the difference between the first round and the Western Conference Finals, I assure you. But the point is all of a sudden it becomes more palpable, and how does that go? And I think the Jazz, most people would predict, have a playoff roster next year. I still think they've made a mistake with Walker Kessler. Maybe that's a little harsh. I can explain, but
as far as not paying him,
I don't know how that's going to go.
Yeah, because
that traditionally. We look at it as, the team can just step in and sell. Well, this is better for us and gives us fun. But the player never thinks that.
Right.
The player wants the deal. They want their money. Don't mess with my money,
security,
et cetera, et cetera. And I actually think that the injury probably put that even under a further magnifying glass. Because he didn't even get the opportunity to go play for his money, so to speak.
Yeah.
So I don't know how that's going to go. That might not play out with him being the big next to Jaren Jackson. Just the might. I don't know what I don't know what the hurt feelings factor is there.
Yeah, they could sign him and trade him within the next year if they feel like he's not happy or he's not the right fit.
Yeah.
Before something happens and he plays himself out of being worth this $100+ million contract. No question.
So that's a question mark for me. But I think most people would argue that that's a playoff roster next year. And then all of a sudden you're building on something. You make moves around the edges, and you hope they're the right ones. And then, bang, you're hopefully in that conversation with Oklahoma City. That doesn't seem so far away now as it did even 3 weeks ago. No,
it's really unbelievable. And you watch it, and one of the things that so you hit on a couple things there that I think are really interesting. I'll get to hope in a second. But first of all, hope is a good one. Let's start there. Just like the players you think like Taylor Hendricks. It's like Taylor's not on the team anymore, or like Kyle Filipowski has a 30-point, 15-rebound, 6-assist game against Portland. You're like, this guy's coming.
That's a guy.
Like, this guy is coming along. And now all of a sudden he's the fourth big in the rotation, and there's next to nothing less valuable than being the fourth big in an NBA rotation. It just really doesn't matter that much, especially undersized or tweener fourth big in an NBA rotation. It's generally not that hard to find. They're not that valuable. They end up making minimum, slightly above the minimum contracts for their careers. So those guys, you kind of come and go. Bryce Sensabaugh, all of a sudden, like all this potential as a scorer, and now the team doesn't need scores, and it's like, okay, what value are you? So you bring in Jaren Jackson Jr., who, and we use this term too much, but he's quite literally a game changer. When he's out there, the dynamic of the game changes. The way the opposing team plays is totally different. The way the Jazz play is different. I don't know how much Lowry actually even does that. Like, Lowry happens within the game. I don't know how much he changes the outcome of every game he's in. He may not. He does change the dynamic of where you have to defend, et cetera, but I don't know if he makes you, like, a way better winner. I think what we've seen, it's only been 3 games with Jaren, but, like, he does really change how the game performs, is played, and then the outcome, which I think is a big deal, and it's why I think he's probably already the best player on the team. So in that sense, you invest in all these little guys, these rookies, second-year players, and then someone actually comes in and is a huge difference maker.
I get what you're saying, but I think you're way oversimplifying it.
Yeah, I am, for sure. No question about it.
Because Lowry's impact, the point I want to make is roles change. Roles on the teams change. I don't think even most Jazz fans were making an argument that Lowry can be the number one on a title contending team.
I never heard it.
Because this is a slant. This sounds like a slander, but you're talking about 99% of the league. He is a role player, and if he's in the right role, he's amazing. I could tell you what I think that is. I think that's him at the 3 with an immediate size advantage and as a spacer that you cannot leave for a second. And now with a sneaky drive game, he's really a multi-tooled offensive player who's going to be negated defensively a little bit by his size advantage, you would hope, because he can gap players and still get up and contest shots. And then all of a sudden he's playing a really important role for you. I don't think Lowry will ever be the ball-in-the-hand guard that's going to run the offense. That's not who he is. And if you want to say that Jaren Jackson affects games in more ways than Lowry, I would listen to that because he really is a two-way guy. And so he's not the perfect two-way guy because, and we've had this conversation, he is not a rim defender. He is not Hakeem Olajuwon. He is Andre Karolinko. He is off-ball block shot guy, which is useful, but not stand next to the basket type of dude. But the good news is he's super long and super versatile. And so if he matches up on Jaylen Brown head-to-head, there's a good chance he holds his own.
Yeah, he holds his own for sure. We saw it against Paolo Banchero in those first three quarters of that game against Orlando. It's just a horrible matchup for Paolo. A guy who's bigger than you are and stronger than you are and can move his feet well is just really, really difficult for those types of players.
And so big and long, he's great defending the pick and roll in either role, and so really affects the game defensively. And then offensively, I don't know, been somewhat limited. I'm not trying to be mean in evaluating, but he's not even close to the offensive player that Lowry is.
No, he's not. He's not that dynamic.
But as far as total impact on the game goes, is a guy. If you think Aaron Gordon. If Aaron Gordon is your guy offensively, like he was in Orlando, you're probably going nowhere fast. But if he's your guy defensively, and you have the luxury to make him your third guy offensively,
has a very specific role. Yeah.
Well, now you've got yourself a stew going.
Right.
So does that make any sense?
Absolutely.
I would say fit, it might be the most relevant conversation. Like, how do they fit? I always thought Gordon Hayward was crazy to want to get away from Rudy Gobert and even Donovan Mitchell to a lesser extent, because there's another star on the team that has zero overlap with you. None. In fact, the stuff he's good at actually makes you better, like setting screens and playing defense. Makes you look better. So why would you want to get away from that guy? He's probably not, the most fun to be around. I don't know, but there's no overlap. He's not taking a bite out of you at any time. Donovan Mitchell and Darius Garland, that's going to be a knife fight to see who stays on the team. That's not complimentary at all, right?
Yes.
So Jaren Jackson Jr., Lauri Markkanen, and then if you want to go down, Ace Bailey or whatever, how's the fit? Is there any overlap? Do they overlap? Are they complementary or not? Keontae George, certainly. Mm-hmm. Is he going to continue to be a playmaker, or is he going to be dribble the ball all game guy? Because I don't think that's what Will Hardy really wants.
Agreed.
So what is does Keontae George have a good fit? I think those are really where I guess hope is generated.
And then beyond hope, you touched on another point which I've been thinking about, and I'm not trying to be a wet blanket, and it's also, I don't know, because maybe they do reach the conference finals or the finals, or maybe they win a title. Like this could come together. There was a pathway for all this to come together. It's a narrow pathway, but there's a pathway where you hit in the lottery, and that doesn't mean you win the lottery, but you find another great player. Ace takes a step. Keontae continues to improve. Lowry, Triple J, and Walker all fit well together, and all of a sudden you have the best roster in the West or the best roster in the NBA. Like, it's conceivable. But there's a real chance that next year is the most enjoyable year of this entire run. The same way, if you were to look back and ask Jazz fans what was the best year of Donovan Mitchell's run, it was probably his rookie season.
It was his rookie season.
So you get borderline rookie of the year, has this fantastic showing, does the dunk contest, puts up, I think, 3 40-point games. You win the opening series against the Oklahoma City Thunder. All of that hope mixed with some results on the floor, mixed with the rebound after losing Gordon Hayward, made for what was essentially the best type of season you can have without winning a championship. That's as good as it gets being a fan, I think. You get all the pieces. Hope, wins, bounce back, you kind of like turn the page on the last chapter. That's really an enjoyable part of it. And next year should do the same thing. You're going to have a chance to compete in the playoffs. You're going to win a lot of games, especially compared to what you've been doing the last 2 years. And there's going to be hope that Jaren Jackson Jr., whoever you draft, plus Ace Bailey, plus Keontae George continuing to grow, is this, is the formation of your foundation to win a title.
So when hope meets expectation, then things get a little
Absolutely.
gets a little dicey.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah. You're still dating right now. Like, this is the exciting part. This is the first year. Everything's perfect. This is a perfect person. We're going to match perfectly. It's going to unlock our lives in different ways I never thought. And then you just start to realize, like, oh, there are redundancies or overlaps or things that clash that don't work as well as you thought they might. And then that's what you're going to run into.
It's funny because that was similar in a way to the Boozard Williams era, how that kind of petered out, is they kept losing to the same teams in the playoffs. And that will remove hope.
Yes.
It's like,
quickly.
Well, what'd you do to get better than them this year?
Yeah.
Well, we didn't do anything.
Well, the Jazz losing to the Rockets in back-to-back years with Donovan Mitchell was really, really difficult.
Right.
That really was a bucket of cold water all over all of the rosy excitement that was felt after beating Oklahoma City.
Especially when it proved out that the Rockets really weren't that great.
Yeah.
It would have been one thing if it were the Warriors.
Or yes, the Shaq Lakers or Tim Duncan Spurs.
Even the Lakers team that D. Will and Booz kept losing to, at least they racked in a title in that whole thing.
Yeah, right. Yeah, the Rockets being like conference final ceiling, and that's the team you can't get past in the second round or the first round is a punch in the gut.
Yeah, that's deflating.
Yeah.
And then you have no moves left to be made. And that's why I always thought it was right to make a pivot to some sort of new rebuild, redirection, the whole thing. And now that looks to be you're back into the hope / they're going to exceed your expectations no matter what, because it's been a long time losing.
It has. 4 years is a long time.
They could go like 500 and it'd be like, hey. I mean, if you think about Quinn Snyder's rebuild, because we think Donovan Mitchell and that, whatever, there were 3 years before that. Where
he started
it was,
Dante Exum's first year, I think. Yeah, he did, because they fired Tyrone Corbett late in that season for winning too many games.
Yeah, right. And so it was a slow, like they missed the playoffs because the fans booed Darren Williams. That was like a 500 year, right below,
around there. Yeah.
Right around 500. I mean, it was a slow kind of, but by that point you're like, man, I remember when all these guys were rookies and that really sucked. So this is obviously better, but I think it should be quicker than that. I would guess adding an all-star and already having an all-star, that was an advantage that they had over the previous build.
Sure. There's a chance it doesn't. There's a chance, not that it'll take that long. It's not going to take 3 years. There's not patience for 3 years of this team not playing well, but 3 more years, I should say, on top of the last 4. But, yeah, I mean, there is a chance that they don't quite break above 500.
Lowry is a vet.
So is Jaren. Yeah.
Jaren Jackson Jr. is a vet. During that last build, like Derek Favors and Enes Kanter were not vets.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward was not a vet. He still looked like a little kid.
Right. No, they had to go out and bring in Joe Johnson to get to the playoffs. Like, honestly, as weird as that was, I went back and looked at his season with the Jazz that first year. He was much better than I realized, like, throughout the year. His first game, he had, like, 29 points. He didn't do that a lot, but, like, he came in immediately and did add some, like, established, we're going to make the playoffs belief in that team. Otherwise, it was a bunch of young players. This team comes in with some experience of guys, at least in Jaren Jackson Jr., who expects to make the playoffs.
Well, he scratched right where that team itched because that team didn't have a whole lot of offensive bite.
Yeah.
Gordon Hayward was the leading scorer, and Ronnie Brewer.
Yeah.
And George Hill, was that the George Hill year?
Yeah, I think Favors was right at like 16 points a game.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
not high.
They did not have a really potent, go score,
sure.
and he ended up being the perfect fit. I always loved his story because I always wondered, at that point, pretty much no free agent had chosen the Jazz, who had really other options.
Mm-hmm.
Not no, but I mean, it didn't happen, right? And I'm kind of like, other teams would have wanted him. Why did he end up? And somebody had gotten in his ear about living in Park City, and he loved it.
Yeah.
He loved it because his commute from wherever he was, I don't know, if Glen Wild or wherever he was, his commute was the exact same as his commute was in Brooklyn before. Like it was like 45 minutes or whatever, except for he was driving like a mile and a half in Brooklyn. And here you could drive out of Mountain Paradise and ended up at the players' facility in the same amount of time. And he loved it.
He did.
Yeah. Which I always thought, wow, was a cool story. That's good advice.
Joe is a good jazz man. Not a long time, but a good guy.
Not like the advice Locke gave to Jamil on where to live his first year
Not quite.
in town.
Not quite.
No. All right. Stay tuned. Top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com coming up next. Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.
It's time to break down the biggest stories of the day. This is the top 3 stories of the day on KSLSports.com. On 97.5 The KSL Sports Zone.
Oh, don't give me that, Scotty G. Dude, Kevin's coming on today. That's a big deal. His appearance on the station will not be brought to you by University of Utah Health. University of Utah Health, hope is in our DNA. Learn more at uofuhealth.org.
But when I think of hopefulness, I think of Kevin Graham.
Kevin was telling me he hasn't done a sports radio show in quite some time because he's been in programming. Let me just say, I think he's like saved a decade's worth of just A material. And he's just going to go, like you've seen the howitzer in the Old West movies. You know what I'm talking about with the like crank? That is going to be Kevin with the hot takes today. I'm expecting at least like 15 to 18 by the first half of the first. He's going to cover everything that has happened over the past like 13 years.
You have to be careful getting the ball rolling because you're not going to stop it. You know, you have to keep him slow down a little bit.
Oh man, he's the best.
Keep the leash on him.
Excited to hear that coming up from noon to 3. So stay tuned for Kevin coming from old North Carolina.
Excited to hear it. Love Kev.
Do you?
Yeah. Kev gave me a big break in this biz, so really appreciate Kevin.
Yeah, that was when he was my roommate.
Yep.
That was a funny time.
Weird.
Had to kick him out when I got married.
Makes sense.
It did, actually. He was commuting from Phoenix.
Yeah. It's tough.
All right. Time for the top 3 stories of the day at KSLSports.com, brought to you by J. Brooks Jewelers. Cherish your love with J. Brooks Jewelers. Explore their expertly crafted engagement rings made from the finest materials. J. Brooks Jewelers. All right, Christian, where do you want to start today?
Number 1, BYU picks up a loss at Arizona last night with no Richie Saunders. Utah, on the other hand, they snapped a 16-game road losing streak going back to last year.
So we said we weren't going to judge BYU too harshly on this Arizona game, and I'm going to hold myself to that.
You're going to come out firing?
I'm not, but we did see some very clear issues with this team without Richie Saunders on the floor. Namely, they were 5 of 19 from the three-point line, and some of those threes even came late as they closed a gap. But again, this was a very typical BYU game. They were down double digits through most of the second half. Rally a little bit late to make it a 7-point loss, but it was 15-18 for long stretches. It felt like there was one point they were sitting at 3 assists. You know, they were down 55 to 44. They had 3 assists, meaning, and the box score totally matches your eyes, they were just kind of playing me turn basketball, or my turn basketball, your turn basketball. And when you see A.J. DiBonsa taking 28 shots to get 35 points, it's incredible that he can handle a workload like that. That is actually a skill. Not a lot of guys can do this. But
Like that?
Did I say that? Dang.
I was a little slow getting to it, but yeah.
But 13 to 28 is, I think we're going to see a lot of that going forward. And that's not a winning, I don't think that's a winning recipe for BYU in the biggest games.
No, I mean, if he makes more than 13, it is.
I mean, he almost shot 50%, in all honesty. It's like, if he scores 35 points, BYU should beat half the teams on their schedule. But when you get to the Big 12 tournament and the NCAA tournament, I don't think that's
I don't think BYU's I don't think they're the perfect team. I think let me put it this way, they're going to have to find a more efficient way to distribute Richie Saunders' production. I would buy into that. But if they are going to win games in the tournament, it is going to be with their top-end 2 dudes balling out, which was absolutely true of the Jimmer year. I mean, if Jimmer didn't score 35, well, it was going to be a long night.
Yep.
So they're just different. They're now built differently. And that's the hard part. I think Coach Lacombe or somebody was talking about, in the NBA, you plug in the next super stud and you say, go out and give me 20. I mean, even Hot Dog Horton Tucker can get out there and give you 30.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
Like in college, you look down the bench and you go, okay, Ollie from Hoosiers.
Yeah. Well, again, to the bench.
Good. You just don't have a perfect replacement, and so you have to figure out the best way to mitigate it. And honestly, that's where the coach makes them. I mean, they really need to prove their value. Kevin Young really needs to figure out a way to efficiently be able to make up for that offensive production.
In 47 bench minutes total from the 5 players on the floor, they scored 6 points. It's really bad. It's just bad.
But if your guy's going to take 28 shots, you better be scoring 45 points.
Yeah, or everybody else better be grabbing 6 or 7 rebounds. And that's got to be the case. Everyone else has to adopt a role that we're rallying around AJ being AJ, and we're going to find a way to win the game otherwise.
Next.
Well, hold on, let's get to Utah really quick.
Snapping. That's quite. What did you say the streak was?
16 true road games, whatever that means.
I think
399 days.
Yeah, they hadn't won a road game in almost 400 days.
Not neutral court road.
Correct. Congrats to the young men at the University of Utah for finding a way to break through there. And, of course, Alex Jensen. West Virginia's not a terrible team. They're a borderline tournament team. They're probably going to not make it because they lost to Utah, unfortunately, and that's the type of curse Utah's going to have on some of these teams. And, man, did Utah try and give this game away. Up 3 at the foul line with 10 seconds to go. They missed both free throws. Just so happened West Virginia turned the ball over immediately after. But they did find a way to finally break through. And they've had a couple of these games where they're close. So if they can learn how to win games that they're close in, they should be closer to 500 next season.
Can you really congratulate a team for winning a road game?
I bet they were celebrating, sure. It's better than winning a home game at this point.
It's better than losing.
It's better than losing. But I'm just saying, do you even want to be congratulated for that? It's like, Ben, if you failed to get out of bed 5 days in a row and you decided to give it a go on the 6th, somebody goes, congratulations.
Wow, patch on the back.
Pat on the back, fine. I don't know. Congratulate. Did they really break through by winning a road game? I don't know. That's just a funny concept to me. But, can I tell you from what I think if Alex Jensen is learning, well, let me back up even further. I've seen a lot of coaches go through their first year. And all of them, like including Alex, I bet you when he looks back on it, whether it's year 2 or year 3 or whatever, you ask them what they thought, how much they've learned since year 1, or you can find a soft way to ask that question. And every single one of them will tell you, I had no clue what I was doing.
Correct.
Like no idea what I was doing in year 1. So I would guess that would apply to him. But one thing you do is you learn all these crazy lessons, and then the learning curve is really, really steep. So, if you've got to figure out to learn like how to coach a team to win a game on the road, I guess if you need to learn that lesson,
yeah, absolutely,
then that's probably the positive. Because I don't think any of these players are really going to be on the team.
That's the problem
going forward. So what do you really read into
yeah,
it? Like who broke through? What
right.
what are we even
broke
talking
through for
about?
What?
They won a road game.
Broke
Congratulations.
through to what?
So if that's a lesson that Alex Jensen and that staff needed to learn, then I guess good for you. But like that this year, you would hope, especially with so much losing, that it's just filled with, well, I'm not going to do that again. I'm not going to do that again.
Correct.
I like that. That was pretty good. This team over there whooped us with this, so I'm going to put this in the offseason. I mean, all that stuff, let alone all the stupid bureaucracy stuff that comes along with being a head coach in college sports these days, where you have to be a song and dance guy, and you have to sell cars, and you have to make appearances, and you have to please boosters and all this other stuff that you're just learning and drinking through a fire hose. You hope that process is going well.
Yep. Totally with you. You learn what you can't trust your players to do, so you learn where to not trust them going forward.
I would like to congratulate Christian for putting his clothes on not backwards.
Yeah.
My daughter Maggie went to school with her shoes on backwards today.
The wrong feet, not on backwards.
Yeah, shoes on the wrong feet.
Tough.
So
she has really short feet.
She does not deserve congratulations. Christian, however, it looks like that's facing the right way to me.
Yeah. Collar is forward.
I did have to double check.
Congratulations, sir. Fine work.
Number 2.
Christian put his pants on backwards again.
Team USA hockey women playing for gold today against Canada. That's coming up in about a half hour. Men got past Sweden yesterday, overtime, 2-1.
Quinn Hughes with the overtime goal, the game winner. They were up 1-0 throughout most of the game, and Sweden had the extra man on after pulling the goalie and tied it up with 90 seconds left. And certainly it felt like all the air had been sucked out of the team, but they find a way to come out and get it done in OT, so they will be playing now for a chance to advance to the gold medal game.
Something that I do think is worthy of congratulations.
Sure.
Hearty congratulations to them.
Yeah. Quinn Hughes with the overtime game winner.
So we've still got the dream matchup of the Canucks and the U.S.
Yes, as we talked about
still
yesterday,
alive.
they do reshuffle, they do reseed the tournament.
And the women go for gold today?
Tonight against Canada. And is that a half hour?
Yeah,
okay,
it's
great.
Italy. Tonight would be like 3 in the morning.
Tonight their time. Not tonight our time.
I'm sure it will be re-racked for prime time.
Yeah, we'll probably get to watch it tonight.
So there you go.
But tonight,
With no Bob Costas.
Tomorrow, Canada, Finland, USA, Slovakia, winners advance to the gold medal game.
How have we heard anything about Mike Tirico's eye health?
So far, so good.
Clear and looking good?
He looks great.
All right.
Yeah.
He does a good job. I like Tirico.
Mike's good. Yeah, he's a real talent.
It would be who was the big-eared guy that I was just watching on Siciliano? I've never thought he's good.
What's he on?
He used to be the NFL Sunday ticket guy.
Yeah. Andrew Siciliano.
And now he's on Peacock doing Olympic coverage. Just, you know what? Just put Tirico on all of it.
Sure.
Like
Be weird
day
to be
shift,
known as the
night
big
shift.
ear guy. Be weird.
How else would you remember
No,
that
it's
guy?
kind of it's almost like Anthony Davis in the unibrow.
Well, it's the
Like,
jelly roll
don't,
thing.
Don't get rid of it. Or Michael Strahan's gap in his teeth.
Yeah.
Just don't get rid of it. But yeah, jelly roll.
You can't do that, dude.
Yeah, your name should be string cheese now. It's like it doesn't really make sense. You're just a skinny little guy.
The one time I saw Blues Traveler
Yeah. Okay.
was
I know
at
where we're going.
it was at the Gallivan Center, and it was right after he got his bypass procedure.
Uh-huh.
John Popper, that is
Yeah.
the
harmonica.
and listen,
player.
it was a fantastic show that I enjoyed every second of.
He still had the lungs for it.
But it was really weird seeing a rail thin John Popper up
Yeah.
there.
Right. You go and see Bachman Turner Overdrive. You want to see the world record twins on motorcycles. You don't want to see a bunch of skinny guys up there jamming. I want a party animal.
Again, good for him. I hope he's more healthy and all that good stuff. But it was very strange.
Yeah, I want the ponytail. I want the ammo belt full of harmonicas, and I want him strapped onto a big fat guy. That's the show.
That's the show.
That's what I'm
That's the
paying
act.
for.
What's next?
Number 3, this Darren Peterson situation continues to be just bizarre. He had 23 points last night, but seems like he pulled himself out of the game 2 minutes into the second half and did not come back.
He had 23 points in 18 minutes. He hits a three. He looks right over at Bill Self and says, pull me out of the game. They pull him out of the game. He doesn't play. Bill Self clearly had some frustration after the game, saying, I thought he was going to have thought he was on was putting together a pretty good game there. I don't know what happened. He thought he was going to have him out for the rest of the night. I'm excited to talk to Kristen Peak about this coming up in 20 minutes, our draft expert. I don't know. Can you just not draft this guy because he's going to pull himself out of every game at halftime? It's the weirdest thing I've seen in the draft for a player who is otherwise so obviously the number one pick in the draft.
I get the impression this is like a I don't know, for lack of a better, like a power play.
I wonder if that's the case.
And I'll play when I dang well please. And in fact, I'm going to make the argument that I'm conserving myself for the NBA by not taking too much tread off the tires here in my lone college season here at Kansas. And by the way, I am a bigger deal than you, Bill Self.
Yeah.
So you'll bend to my will, which I do find kind of funny because I'm sure Bill Self has the biggest ego in the state of Kansas. So it is kind of funny that he has to even bite his tongue and mildly criticize a player that refuses to go in the game. Can you imagine how much a crusty old coach like Bill Self hates that?
Yes. It's got to be the worst thing he's dealing with because there is not a more talented player in the country.
Hey, we got to win this one. Get in there and make a play. Nah, I don't think so, man. Check my contract. Oh, I bet he hates that with the fire of 1,000 suns.
He's played in 15 games this year. He averages 27 minutes a game. He's averaging 20 points, 3 rebounds, or just under 4 rebounds. He's not a great playmaker. He's only at 1.5 assists, but he's probably a better playmaker once he gets to the NBA than he's shown. But again, he pulls himself out of games regularly. If he's hurt, he just shouldn't be playing. If you're not going to be able to finish a game, you're not healthy enough to be on the court, period. You shouldn't be out there. He's done enough now to guarantee himself to be the number one pick. I actually think the more he does this, the more he's likely to hurt himself and not end up being number one overall because Cam Boozer plays every game and A.J. DeBonsa plays every game and finishes every game, and they play 35 minutes. A.J. is going to play 39 minutes a game on average the rest of the week.
But you're ignoring the fact that he's an 18-year-old bozo. You could have said all that stuff about DeMarcus Cousins, for example.
Probably, yeah.
If he just put his head on straight or whatever. I'm sure he had a zillion Ben Andersons in his ear saying, "Hey, dummy, you're costing yourself a bunch of dough."
Yeah,
how
absolutely,
much did
of course.
How much did that matter?
So that's my question. And he did get drafted in the top 10.
But the thing is if you ever solve that problem, you have the best player in the league.
Correct. Absolutely. Derek Favors gets drafted in front of DeMarcus Cousins. DeMarcus Cousins was a better player.
Way better.
Way better.
Potential way higher.
Yeah.
And it honestly is too bad that he did not go to a better franchise.
Correct.
If he had gone to a franchise that really helped him put his head on straight and pull in the same direction as everyone else, he could have been a star. But Sacramento certainly, well, they're not that now, and they certainly were not that type of franchise then. But teams will always say that.
Yes, absolutely.
They will always say somebody in the top 3, if you don't even want to say number 1. And we'll talk to Kristen about this. Said, well, wait till he gets under our umbrella. Wait till Doc Rivers gets a hold of him.
Wait till Glenn gets to talk to him.
That'll
clean him up.
Wait till Doc gets in his ear. Man, this guy's going to be the best player in the league.
Switzerland women just won the silver medal. Or, excuse me, the bronze medal.
Who'd they beat?
In OT, my Swedes.
Oh, well, congratulations to them then.
Yeah, good for them. OT.
Now it's a neutral site game, not a road game.
Can't congratulate
so let's not get too far ahead of ourselves.
Yeah.
If it was a true road game, then we could really march out the parade. But good for them.
Neutral site.
All right, stay tuned. More next. 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Whether it's the Jazz, Utes, Cougars, or Aggies, these guys have got you covered.
Time to eat, fellas.
You're locked on to Jake Scott and Ben Anderson
1, 2, 3, move it.
on 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone.
Jake and Ben, 97.5 the KSL Sports Zone. That was like the oldest conversation we could have possibly had.
Absolutely.
I feel like I'm 90 years old now.
Little luxuries in life that...
No, but like what we did, we don't need to get into it, but we just pointed out a little piece of technology that you and I both think is like a game changer. And it's like a decade-old technology.
Right.
It's not even...
And it's not even the top of the line of the technology. We were talking about how the cruise control in our cars is better than it used to be.
How it adjusts to the car in front of you.
That's it. A little bit of lane assist. Like if you're drifting, it will keep you back in line. Like my car will do that. It's amazing. Because big snowstorm, I finally have four-wheel drive. That's the genesis of the convo. But yeah, it was an old person conversation.
I just think back to my old cruise control and I think how did we even get by?
Yeah, right.
How did we even drive on the freeway?
Right. How did I dare
And
get
then,
out there?
of course, Christian, who's in his 20s and has a little bit of an older car.
How did you get your car? What's the story? Did you get? Is it a hand-me-down? Did you buy it from your parents?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's where the car comes from. That's life.
It's honestly the same car I've had since high school.
Yeah, you
it's
bet.
still going strong.
Oh, dude, good for you. Keep it going.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, keep it going.
Oh,
Keep that
a car
thing.
payment? There's nothing worse than a car payment.
Nothing.
Yeah. I'm holding off as long. My wife has a car payment, and I'm letting her deal with that. I'm holding on.
No, you let that thing ride for a long time. My last car had 230,000 miles on it. You can really stretch that out, Christian. You go for that. Don't be tempted by this newfangled cruise control.
You don't need it. It does help when you have it, but you don't need it.
No.
So keep your car going. What are you driving, Christian?
A Mazda 3. It's nice,
Oh,
actually.
yeah.
Coming up on
Yeah.
200,000 miles, but it does great.
Those were good. They lasted forever, clearly.
So, yeah, keep that going. 4-wheel drive or 2?
No, it is a 2. But, I mean, yeah, I lived in Manaway, so I know how to handle the snow, man.
Yeah, a pro.
I hated. I grew up with 2-wheel drives in Salt Lake too. You can absolutely get by, but I've got to tell you, I don't miss it.
Yeah, I'm with you.
But Christian's car guy, right?
Clearly, huge car guy. Yeah.
Car guy, keeps it going.
Yeah, good for him.
No problem. No 4-wheel drive, no problem. He'll drive you to Manaway for crying out loud.
I've got a question for you. I don't know. We clearly won't know the answer, but there are a couple of games I'm keeping an eye on tonight in the NBA. Nets are on the road at the Cavaliers. Not maybe necessarily the biggest example of this. The Bulls are in action tonight. The Kings are in action tonight. And then the big one is the Pacers at the Wizards. And I'm not watching this because I'm comparing how these teams are winning games compared to the Jazz. I'm more curious about how these teams are losing games compared to the Jazz. Are we going to see fines from this first weekend from the NBA? Is Adam Silver going to back up what he said last weekend during the All-Star break and come out like guns a-blazing, trying to find teams?
Let me answer it this way. Do you think the Jazz will get fined this weekend?
I do not think the Jazz will get fined.
Well,
this
then
weekend.
nobody's getting fined.
Okay.
No, I'm serious. If anybody gets fined, it'll be the Jazz and probably nobody else. Maybe a token other team. But the Jazz, in all honesty, joking aside, are all of a sudden in the repeater offender category for no fault of their own.
Yeah.
But now they're under the magnifying glass.
I actually wonder how that will be handled because they got fined for conduct detrimental to the league, not for tanking, not for the player participation policy. So technically they still have like one of those games if they want to rest Lowry and only pay the $150,000 fine or whatever it is versus the $250 and then growing. So I'd be curious how they handle that.
Well, Adam Silver is looking at every box score. He turns on his very low watt bulb, very mild, soft light, and examines exactly how Will Hardy used his guys.
Yep.
So, I mean, that's what he said. Basically, he's got his eye on him.
Tomorrow is a big one in this tanking race because the Jazz are playing Memphis. Memphis is sitting on 20 wins. The Jazz are at 18.
Well, pony up. What's the next fine going to be? $500K for the last one?
Well, again, I think the Jazz are technically sitting at 0 because that was a different type of fine altogether. I think the Jazz's first one would be the $100,000 or whatever the Pacers just got fined for sitting Pascal Siakam. So I think the Jazz still have a relatively low-cost penalty the next time they want to do that.
Depending on what rule they choose to enforce?
Sure, yeah, that's the problem. Like if you're going to determine conduct detrimental to the league outside of the player participation policy, that's why I think I'm curious about these other games. That's the know it when you see it. That's no longer you violated a set rule. This is Adam Silver got mad at bad press, and so he decided he's going to fine teams to think that's going to make for better press.
It's almost like he did. You've seen Christmas Vacation, where Bill Murray's brother is trying to get rid of Clark Griswold, and he picks up the phone and he's like, Get me someone, anyone.
Anybody, yeah.
Get me someone while I'm waiting.
Yeah.
It's like Adam Silver, sat up out of the grave and said, "Find me a team to find, any team."
The Pacers, the Jazz.
Yeah, done.
Great.
Well, sir, there were 13 teams that were trying to intentionally lose last night. I don't care. Give me any team. The Jazz.
I don't think he's going to be willing to fine a bunch of teams, truthfully. I don't think he wants to have a third of the league angry at him for being bad teams.
That's why you pick a team to send a message, Ben. That's what I've been told.
Yep. I think you're right. Put everybody on notice.
Really sucks to be that team, huh?
Yeah, it does. The Jazz are a little bit the scapegoat.
So then when everybody else doesn't fix the problem, is he going to punish the Jazz more? Because that's what it looks like.
We'll see. See if Keontae plays tomorrow night. Get an injury report today.
Imagine being that kid in like third grade where the teacher's like, I'm not going to punish everybody, just you.
You.
And then how does everybody else behave? Guys, come on.
Yeah, right. You saw what happened to Jimmy.
I'm getting killed here.
Dad has to come sit in school with him.
All right, stay tuned. We've got Kristen Peak coming up next. Excited to talk to her. It's Jake and Ben, 97.5, the KSL Sports Zone.